Pat Leahy is, of course, chairman of the committee, and Arlen Specter of Pennsylvania is the ranking Republican. Let me start with the chairman. Mr. Leahy, this nomination, does it trouble you in terms of the character issue, in terms of the way Eric Holder played a role in the pardoning of Mark Rich back in 2000? Does that trouble you?
Not a good attorney general. I think Eric Holder will be a good attorney general.
Senator Specter, you were not asked your opinion of these issues before the nomination was put forward.
That is true. The Constitution says advice and consent, but it's President-elect Obama's privilege not to consult with me if he chooses not to. Had he done so, I would have told him the details about Mark Rich because I chaired that hearing before the full Judiciary Committee. I could have given him some special insights into what happened on the Gore investigation because I chaired the subcommittee there. And I could have told him about the FALN pardon, which was the subject of a Senate proceeding 95-2 against it. Now, he might have chosen Mr. Holder notwithstanding that, but I think it's a pretty good practice to hear differing points of view in coming to a nomination. At least that's what the Constitution says. It calls for advice as well as consent.
Let me ask you, gentlemen, about the role of an attorney general vis-a-vis a president. We've had so many role models. Bobby Kennedy, of course, was the president's brother. William French Smith was the president's lawyer. Janet Reno was a stranger. Apparently, she would reach for a notepad when President Clinton would call her. No relationship, whatever. Senator Specter, should the Attorney General and the President enjoy, at times, a confidential relationship? Or should it always be an arm's-length official relationship?
I think it can be a confidential relationship, but I think the Attorney General is different from any other cabinet officer where they carry out the president's policies. The Attorney General has a duty to the people. He has to uphold, or he or she has to uphold the rule of law. And there has to be the kind of independence. Attorney General Doherty didn't show that in the Teapot Dome. Elliot Richardson showed it in the Saturday Night Massacre. Sometimes a president is better served by somebody who'll tell him no when that's what the Constitution requires. I think President Bush got a lot of bad advice from Attorney General Gonzalez, and I led the fight along with Senator Leahy when Attorney General Gonzalez said there was no habeas corpus right in the Constitution. Didn't do President Bush any good. But we have a situation here where Mr. Holder has to answer why he didn't say no to President Clinton on Mark Rich and on the FALN, and why he didn't fight for an independent counsel for Vice President.
I wonder if I might have a word in there because, of course, he did show independence. He prosecuted probably the most powerful Democratic member of Congress on the Hill, the chairman of the Ways and Means Committee at that time. He advised that Kenneth Starr, who was investigating Bill Clinton, the man who had nominated him, advised him to go forward with the investigation. That showed enormous independence. I do believe an attorney general should be independent. When I was a law student at Georgetown, I was recruited by the then attorney general. I asked him specifically how independent could he be of the White House. He told me that he had told the president personally that the White House could not interfere with any prosecution. That attorney general was Robert Kennedy. He subsequently prosecuted a man who was crucial to his brother's election as president. That's my model of the independence. That was also what Eric Holder showed when he was deputy attorney general in prosecuting key Democrats as well as Republicans.
Did he show independence and character, Senator Leahy, when Jack Quinn, his colleague, came to him with the case of Mark Rich, apparently trying to wire the case through the president? Did he show independence, and did he say no when he should have?
I think he made a mistake in not saying no on that. I would love to have cabinet members who have never made a mistake. That's probably not going to happen. I don't think even Christ was able to find that with his 12 apostles, people who never made a mistake. We're not going to have that. We have a man who is experienced, has shown independence, and I think those who, remember, millions of dollars were spent investigating Bill Clinton. Apparently, we're going to keep on investigating Bill Clinton, but he's the one that gave the pardon, not Eric Holder.
Last question for Senator Specter. Does Eric Holder have a character problem?
Let's give him a chance to answer these questions. I'm not saying yes and I'm not saying no. I'm saying he's entitled to his day in court, entitled to his hearing, but so am I entitled under the Constitution, really required, to ask him relevant questions.
Okay, thank you very much, Senator Arlen Specter and Senator Patrick Leahy, the leaders on the Senate Judiciary Committee.